even more unforgettable. When Alexandra Eala stood before the microphone, tears streaming down her face, she delivered words that would echo across the globe and touch millions of hearts. She did not talk about rankings, prize money, or her next opponent. She talked about a little girl with ruffled socks, light-up shoes, and chubby cheeks who trained every day after school with her brother and grandfather. The tennis world had seen upsets before. It had seen champions fall and underdogs rise, but it had never seen an interview quite like this one, raw, vulnerable, unfiltered, and utterly captivating. Within hours, the video had gone viral, amassing millions of views across social media platforms. Sports fans from every corner of the globe were sharing their reactions. The Filipino diaspora wept with pride, and a nation of 110 million people found their new hero. But what exactly did she say that moved the world to tears? And why has this single interview become one of the most watched moments in Wimbledon history? The answer reveals everything about why Alex Eala is not just winning matches, she is winning hearts. The final ball had barely landed. Iga Swiatek's title defense was over, and in its place stood a 21-year-old from the Philippines who had just produced the biggest victory of her career. The scoreline read 7-6, 11-9, 6-2, but numbers could never capture the magnitude of what had just unfolded on center court. Alexandra Eala collapsed onto the grass, her body trembling with emotion. She rolled onto her back, tears streaming down her cheeks as center court rose to applaud one of the biggest upsets of the year's championships. The defending champion was gone. The six-time Grand Slam winner had been dethroned, and a nation of over 110 million people had found their new hero. The opening set had lasted 84 minutes, a tense battle that tested every ounce of Eala's nerve. She saved 2 set points before edging the tiebreak 11-9 after more than an hour of intense baseline exchanges. Swiatek, the world no. 3 and reigning Wimbledon champion, committed 44 unforced errors as Eala's aggressive left-handed game and fearless shot-making proved too much to handle. Eala had entered the championships with strong momentum, having collected 11 grass court victories this summer, including a win over Elena Rybakina, the 2022 Wimbledon champion. Her rankings had climbed to number 29 and she was seeded for the first time in a Grand Slam main draw. But the most unforgettable moment was yet to come. When Eala stepped to the microphone for her on-court interview, the tears continued to flow. Her voice cracked, her words faltered, and then she spoke the words that would break the internet. The interview was over in less than 2 minutes. But those 2 minutes would transform Alex Eala from a rising tennis star into a global phenomenon. When Eala stepped to the microphone for her on-court interview, the tears continued to flow. Her voice cracked, her words faltered, and then she spoke the words that would break the internet. I don't know how to describe it, she began, her voice trembling. I'm really emotional. Maybe for someone like Iga, who has won so many slams, or maybe someone like Serena or Venus, this achievement may seem small. But for someone who grew up in the Philippines? She paused, the silence stretching as she fought to compose herself. The crowd waited, captivated by a moment that transcended sport. I went to train with my brother and my grandfather every day after school with my ruffled socks, my light-up shoes, and chubby cheeks. So to be here, this is everything. The center court crowd erupted, not just with applause but with something deeper, a recognition that they had just witnessed a moment of pure, unfiltered humanity. This was not a carefully rehearsed victory speech. This was a young woman speaking to her younger self, to the little girl who had dared to dream of standing on the most famous court in tennis. But the interview did not end there. Eala, ever the competitor, quickly shifted her tone from emotional to determined. She wiped her tears, smiled, and delivered a message that would become a rallying cry for her fans around the world. Obviously, because I'm emotional does not mean I'm satisfied. So, okay, next round, let's go. The contrast was jarring and captivating. One moment she was in tears speaking to the little girl inside her. The next, she was announcing to the world that she was not finished, that the dream was not complete, that the hunger remained. Eala also reflected on what it meant to see the Philippine flag waving in the crowd throughout the match. It's incredible to have my countrymen cheering me on and knowing that we're all in this together, she said. This goes out to them. This goes out to my family. This goes out to all of the little girls who had ruffled socks and chubby cheeks. It means the world. But perhaps the most powerful part of her message was what she shared about her childhood in the Philippines. Eala had grown up playing on a tennis court painted over a basketball court, with basketball hoops so close to the baseline that she could not step back too far without running into them. There were no grass courts in the Philippines, no Wimbledon-like conditions, just a makeshift court in Quezon City and a dream that refused to die. I hold Wimbledon very close to my heart, she said. Being able to play here on center court the second year in a row, it's amazing for me to be able to do that and to have these intense moments in this level of competition on essentially the best stage in the world for tennis. She spoke about being a role model for young girls, saying it would be the honor of my life to be able to inspire others. But she also made it clear what kind of inspiration she wanted to provide. I don't want them to look at me and say, I want to be the next Alex Eala. I want them to look at me and say, wow, I want to be the first me. I want to make my own path. And in that moment, Alex Eala became more than a tennis player. She became an icon. Within hours, the video had gone viral across every major social media platform. The clip was shared by celebrities, athletes, and fans from every corner of the globe, and the reactions were unlike anything the tennis world had ever seen. The interview was over in less than 2 minutes, but those 2 minutes would transform Alex Eala from a rising tennis star into a global phenomenon. Within hours of her emotional center court interview, the video had gone viral across every major social media platform. The clip was shared by celebrities, athletes, and fans from every corner of the globe, and the reactions were unlike anything the tennis world had ever seen. Tennis legends Billie Jean King and Martina Navratilova were among the first to celebrate Eala's achievement. King, a 39-time Grand Slam champion and one of the sport's most respected figures,